Right, I'm live. Okay, so I'm not going to touch anything. So I'm keeping my hands away. Okay, right, so just basically checking to make sure I've got sound coming out of here. Okay, right, so just basically checking to make sure. Right, that's good. So, yeah, because the thing is, I'm not even the issue with I'm not even using OBS for this. I'm using the actual YouTube streaming system on the site itself because OBS isn't actually set up on the MacBook Air to work with this account over here. And I haven't had time to even get it set up properly because given I've spent more time trying to get OBS to work on the PC, so I've had to use the MacBook Air instead. And this was kind of like a last resort. Um, well, actually, no, because if not, then I might have to use the iPad to stream. Should that end up being the actual case, which I hope not. I hope I won't have to start the stream all over again. But I tell you what, I've had such a shit evening. Honestly, do you know, for those who actually did, in case anyone actually didn't hear it, this the Lenovo PC, I'm pointing to that so I don't point it down. That was on there because I'm using my MacBook. But this Lenovo PC has genuinely been an absolute nightmare. I just have had no luck getting it to work whatsoever. But anyway, I'd hope that. Just copy the link to that one. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think the audio quality is as good as it should be because given how different the YouTube system tends to transmit, I think that's probably what plays a part in it. But I'm just waiting to see who else pops up. 5 watching at the moment. 5 watching at the moment. Right, copy link to that one. Come join the fun! Exclamation mark. Yeah, I actually cannot believe it. It's actually been the fact that it's been 5 years since I started, well, looking like this. Um, it's genuinely amazing how quickly it has come because it only feels like yesterday when I looked at myself in the mirror for the first time looking like this, and the journey that I've actually been on. In fact, if I move over to the microphone, yeah, the journey that I've actually been on has been incredible. In fact, I'll turn the gain up on the. I got to pray that it doesn't actually knock anything, but I'll just turn. Right, so hopefully that's not too loud, or because I haven't adjusted the sensitivity of the microphone. But I'll just double check that because I'm having to use this as well to monitor the stream. I haven't adjusted the sensitivity of the to monitor the stream. But yeah, the YouTube system isn't really the greatest for you. I mean, on the plus side, I'm glad that I managed to get the webcam working because because the webcam that I'm actually using is my Osmo Action 3, and this for me blows the GoPros out of the water because of the webcam utility. Now, although I have heard that the new GoPros do also have this feature, GoPros now are just ridiculously expensive for what they are because the Osmo Action 4, for example, which is the successor to this, I think you can get less than $250 for anyone who's out there watching in America. But from my home country, I can get the Osmo Action for 189. But yeah, it's just not been a pleasant experience trying to get the whole stream to work because it's just because in fact I'm gonna take a gamble and I'm going to just show you the screen on the all-in-one PC because I want you guys to see just how bad this is. In fact, if this is what I'm talking about when I'm trying to get the camera off because of the there we go. So managed to do it in the end. But the guy, if you don't appreciate seeing this, I don't get why you are here in the first place. You can easily just go if that's the case. But yeah, it's been stuck on this screen for nearly the past 2 hours. And that is supposed to take me to the YouTube Live dashboard so I can get my stream key to put it into OBS. But it was having absolutely none of it. Because this is what I'm using to stream. And this is 20 things. That's nearly 4 years old. And this is coming up to 12 years old. And the fact that this is still going stronger than that is absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, so that's the reason why I have been... It's this computer that's been the problem as to why I'm having so much problems with my streams. I just want to get rid of it altogether. There is a part of me that the original plan was to overhaul this and put in a new. I was thinking of putting some higher gigabyte RAM in it, as well as some, a new SSD. But I do worry about how much different because I would need some very high gigabyte RAM for this computer, given the way that it is. Potentially a new processor as well. But it's just so slow. It is completely incapable of performing the simplest of tasks. But anyway, so who else is in here? So I think we've got Benjamin Butler. Thank you for coming in. We've got, I apologize, we've got Prince Sapphire, and we've got Luska. I apologize if I'm butchering that name. How did this happen? Adders. Put the time. The guy in terms of how did this happen? What do you mean by this? I'll just get a few. There's a few groups that I'm in. I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna forward the message because I don't have the time to tip out. So that's in ScotiaCon. That's in the How did I become a furry? I if you're being serious about that one, it's just that I happened to discover it through a friend on Facebook. But I did have a fascination with anthropomorphized cartoon, like for example the likes of Kung Fu Panda. There are quite a few examples in media that started my fascination with animals with human characteristics. And when I discovered, I think it was through. I semi-discovered it when I was 13, and I didn't. Oh well, I'll get to that in a bit. Don't worry. But I semi-discovered it in 2013 when I was looking at some videos of fair rides in the United States, and it was under the username Charlie the Wolf. And I went onto their profile and saw a bunch of videos from furry conventions, and genuinely, I did not think much of what I saw. I just kind of looked at it, seemed a little bit confused, and just clicked off it. and I just did not think of anything else much after that. Zuko's here. Old Zuko. That's very, very handy because there is somebody who's lurking that I think. Do you have an attraction? No, I don't. I don't, and anybody that does needs to be put onto a list. Let's just put it at that. But yeah, I think that underwear seems to be a thing that I'm quite well known for, and I have very, very mixed feelings about that because I want to be sorry, no, actually, so Zuko, you're actually fine because this stream is actually a lot later than anticipated. So I don't. I'm basically seeing how long I can keep this up for. I think the limit will be when the laptop battery gets to 10%. But I'm just checking to see how long because I've been trying to get this thing. Okay, oh my god, 65%. So I'm just seeing how long this actually does end up lasting. But by the time it does get to 10%, I think I'm going to end it off there. By about 65, so hopefully all should be good. Now I just want to forward that into so copy. So where haven't I posted it? I've not posted it in the locations. Actually, where's? Oh my god! Oh, there it is. Right. So why are you? Well, there is an audience for that. And it's just that other people have actually been doing it before I was doing it. So hey ho, yeah. Thanks, King Golden. But yeah, 5 years. It's just I probably said this, but for those who just tuned in, I actually cannot believe the fact that it's been 5 years since I started being a big dog, and right. So the guy, I think you're only in here just to be. You're the only sole purpose I know you're in here is just to be a massive liability, and you're trying to incite certain things out of me. You're trying to make certain things as like predatory. That's what I'm getting. So I have genuinely have no other option other than to put you into timeout. The message got deleted before I could even see it. Anyway, I just forward that into. Also, I guess that's the good thing about the only good thing to come out of streaming on the YouTube system. It means that I can put stuff into timeout, whereas on OBS, I think that's something that I have to rely on some of the admins. Because Zuko, I'm glad that we've got him in here because he's an admin. Yeah, we've also got Ride the Roller Coasters, Marcus, 1994. Thank you so much for joining. And yeah, it's just still mind blowing how the fact that it's been like half a decade. It's been. So I just posted a few things. I posted a link to this chat in a few groups that I'm in. So hopefully we'll get a few more people coming in. Actually, there was one other thing I wanted to do. I'll just move that gently so I can accommodate the iPad because what I might do is, although I am streaming on YouTube, I am gonna. It's something I did. I was considering it, but I was so engulfed in trying to get OBS to actually do what it's supposed to do, but it was just having none of it. So I'm going to get a little stream going on TikTok as well, purely because. But also, I'm just so. King Golden, you've been doing YouTube for 2 years, you say. How's that been going for? Because come May, I would have started this channel 5 years ago, and I have I kind of have mixed feelings about. Also, I just thought I'd show this for those who haven't actually seen this. This piece by Super Sammy that I have as my. Oh, it's gone. Hang on. But yeah, this I have as my iPad wallpaper, and I still love this piece so much to this day. And I'm actually writing a book, and the plan is to commission uh, Sammy to be the book's illustrator. So I'm going to try and just get a title going. So, oh Jesus, the iPad is. But yeah, the thing is, because I get conflicted if I'm actually cut out for YouTube. The reason for that being is because I've been doing this for well, I've been, like I said in May, I've been doing this coming up to 5 years, and I do feel that this channel is not in as good of a position than I would have liked to have been. And I say that because it does make me wonder if I'm doing something wrong, because there are creators who I see, and the algorithm in terms of the success that they get has just basically been a walk in the park for them. Because I would see, because there is a really big furry YouTuber who I don't want to name in case people are going to think that I'm slating them, but they started a YouTube channel in, I think, mid 2023, and they are sitting at 64,000 subscribers, whereas I've been doing this for nearly 5 years and I've been stuck on 2.1 thousand subscribers. And the quality of their videos undeniably is better, probably down to the microphone, which is probably because I do need to look into alternative shotgun microphones. Because when I do use this for against OBS, the audio is actually pretty clear. But I just need clearer because the current microphone that I'm using, there's also a hiss to it, but that has something more to do with the camera as well. And I do, because the one thing that I've been told is to not use automatic audio if you're using a what else we got Lionheart Uru 60. Christ, what a username that is to have. Anyway, thank you so much for joining. I'm a little bit burnt out, I'm not gonna lie, because the fact that this whole stream I've spent 3 hours trying to get this working. But I managed it in the end. But anyway, I'm just gonna get a little I'm just gonna I apologize for any dead air, but I'm just gonna get a little stream going on TikTok live on YouTube, celebrating 5 years of fluff. That's an annoying thing about TikTok, is that live titles are only allowed they're only allowed 32 characters, and I can't really fit. Of okay, just about made the exclamation mark in that one. Now, even though I've got TikTok going on, I'm not going to pay attention to it because of just how toxic TikTok Live is. I only get it going just because some people rewards. All right, so we've got that one going, so we don't really need to worry about that. Anyway, so who else is in here? If there's any questions you do want to ask, fire them away, because I'd like to get to know, because I'm curious to know what you guys have lined up. I'm also going to just get that out because I don't really need that. Right, so just also it's going to be a bit. I've been a TikToker for 5 years, and I've been a Twitter person for 4 years straight. Well, I think of all of the platforms, because YouTube, I think, because I've been doing YouTube a lot longer, I think, than any other platform that I've ever used. But that's not with this channel because I have actually had a few channels prior to this. And it's been quite a while because some have succeeded, some have got me in the best position. But when it comes to this channel, I am debating on whether or not I want to continue doing this because of maybe it's the quality of the content. I do wonder because there are some videos do well, and then there are some that don't. And it does because there's also a thing that I'm also here because if I'm being honest, YouTube seems to be nowadays a platform where it doesn't want its creators to succeed, and it seems that the algorithm will do this thing. Have you tried doing any videos on amusement parks and or grounds on reviews? The trouble is there is something that I do. Oh god. Okay, so they've just turned up, and so the people who I live with, they're at the door. I cannot answer it. I haven't left the key in the door. But I just got a hoax, and I've also left a sign on the door that says "Do not interrupt." There is a live stream going on, but sometimes in the past, they have they seriously can't use their key. I'm just going to open the door so you can hear this. I'm not going to answer the door because that's what they'd want. They have their keys. And I know they have their keys, and they're just still. Hang on. Oh, shit. Right, now I just got to hope they don't interrupt the bloody stream. You. Be a calendar. But yeah, as I was trying to say earlier, there is a community that I am part of with, and that's if I were to do that field of videos, it's not something that I would feel comfortable doing because of a lot of things that they may try to dig up. Because there are some very, very malicious people in another community that I'm in, and if I do videos around that field, I don't want them to end up finding this side of me and for any given reason try using it against me. So who else we got? We've got Spectro. Thank you so much for joining in. Now we're going to be going for 22 minutes, which actually isn't that bad. And what's the time now? So it's Christ, it's nearly 20 to 11, and I've been trying. Also, for those who are actually on TikTok, I'm not actually interacting with the chats here because TikTok Live is just generally very, very toxic. If you do want to interact, come join in over on the YouTube channel. I think there should be a link in my bio somewhere, but if not, it's just search at Harry Husky on YouTube, and my channel will be a very easy find. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out I'm okay just for that stream. A question. The trouble is, okay, so when it comes to immigrating to Canada, because that's not really because but I am not a question, Perry, but I'm planning to attend AmeriCon at some point. I've is that immigrate to Canada? The original plan was to get a passport. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, I can't blame you for simply wanting to migrate over to Canada, given the state of what America is at the moment, and I don't even need to comment on that because we all know what's happening going on with the fascism in America. Anyway, there's a few. I've just I'm seeing the chat on TikTok, and there's quite a few religious people going in there. There's forgive them, Lord. There's anyway, joined from TikTok. It's a shame how they're behaving on there. Yeah, that's the reason why I'm not paying attention to the chat over on TikTok. Is I've got a glimpse. Aries is on there. Aries, come over to YouTube. Come on YouTube. We're live on there. I'm not paying attention to the chat over on TikTok. I just saw you at the corner of my eye. I heard you were in the chat. Come on here. Come on YouTube because TikTok live I don't interact with. I'm only on here just for the sake of because some people like to donate rewards, and I'm just seeing where things go from there. In fact, just a thought. I know in case something actually does happen to stream over here on YouTube, um, I will use the TikTok also as a backup just in case. So if something does happen here, like the stream crashes out, I hope it doesn't. I will still be live on TikTok, but I don't know how long that's gonna last. But anyway, now for those who are actually on TikTok, oh, so Dakota, thank you so much for the rose. But for those who are on TikTok and don't know why I'm doing this, basically, it's today is for the 30th of April, and it was on the 30th of April 2020. Thank you to Baha Wolf for the rose. But it's been 5 years ago today since I. So we've got a few folk from TikTok. Let's see. Mask? What mask? Do you see a mask? I don't see a mask. Anyway, so but for those watching on TikTok, is that I actually it's been 5 years to the day since I started being a big husky for the first time, and it's been genuinely an incredible adventure ever since then, and it's just blown away with what I've been able to do. We've got quite a few people on the YouTube stream now. I've got 20 people watching. But anyway, in terms of Aries, you're here. Finally, Aries, we got Aries in. So it's a dog aversion. Yes, it is indeed, Zuko. Oh my god, Aries, I've got so much to talk to you about. In terms of because the thing is, I'm not actually doing Confuzzled this year. And my reason for that being is pure. Okay, the sad thing is because I was trying to get to Confuzzled for this year, but I was not willing to stay in the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, purely because of their horrific practices during the convention last year. But needless to say, there's a lot of stuff that I can't publicly comment on. But yeah, we need to mention it. Yeah, we definitely because Ari, I will There's a lot of stuff about the Hilton Birmingham Metropole that I won't publicly comment on here. But I will tell you in messages about this. But the thing about Confuzzled is okay. It's not so much Confuzzled because I absolutely love Confuzzled, but I hate the hotel that it's in. It is so outdated. It is so deteriorating. And in fact, because anybody who was there will probably even if you weren't there, you may have heard something about the fire alarms going off at like midnight. And the reason for that is yeah, Zuko, I'm not going to be there this year. I as much as I would have liked to have gone, but given the Hilton's conduct last year, I just wasn't willing to stay there. Because here's the thing: last year I stayed in an executive room, and the reason is because I didn't really want to talk about this because I didn't want to jinx anything. But the fire alarm sounders that are in the standard rooms of the Hilton, I just cannot. I do not have the mental capacity to be in the same room as them because not so much because of the noise they make, but because of how incredibly loud they are as well. But the noise as well plays a huge part in that. It's like I don't even want to recreate because even recreating it myself gives me anxiety. Whereas the ones that are in the executive room, because I had to fork out a lot for Confuzzled last year to stay in the executive room because I knew that the fire alarm sounders in there were different and more laid back and also less anxiety inducing. But yeah, and that was kind of a bit of a blessing because of given what happened last night, and there were a lot of things that I would I was able to do a lot of things in the executive room that I wasn't able to do in the standard room because of the anxiety disorders that I have when it comes to certain alarm models. But the thing is, given what happened, because there was an update on the investigation that Confuzzled publicly released. They publicly released a statement, Confuzzled, and said that it was something along the lines of a faulty call point in the plat room above all near the main stage area, and that tells you um actually, Aries, are you staying in the executive this year? Because I'm curious to know how much you forked out. Because when I saw the prices for Confuzzled this year, because to have an executive twin with late departure, as well as having your attendance includes, okay, so you've got your attendance, you've got an executive room, late departure, so that's your attendance and 5 nights in an executive twin room. Um, Now I ended up, I think it was paying nearly something over 600 last year. Um, but the pricing for the same options for this year would have been £743. Um, I am at the end of borrowing money from a friend for the first time, so possibly last time I do so. Yeah, I'm not even surprised you've had to come to that. But the thing is, £743. Even if I think I couldn't afford that, and even if I could, that is a ridiculous amount of money to throw at a hotel, given the practices. That's actually next to say. Yeah, because here's the thing, because it's common knowledge now how much that the Hilton Birmingham Metro is trying to hound out of Confuzzled. Because Confuzzled, they don't deserve the slack for the hotel for the prices, because it's always the convention staff and like the Confuzzled socials that seem to get a lot of stick for the pricing for this year's convention and the hotels. It's nothing to do with Confuzzles. It is entirely because of the Hilton. They are trying so hard to squeeze every last drop out of the Hilton. I mean, for mine was 801 Thunder, but shit. So what? So what? Eric, did you go for an executive double? Because they should be. And also, are you using because have you got early arrival and late departure? Because I think that was like, I think it was somewhere on the lines of 856 for 6 nights. Yeah, even then, again, that's ridiculous. And what's even more so is the amount of, because it's the because there's no funding put into that hotel whatsoever. Um, it's outdated. It's deteriorating. That fire alarm system needs ripping out. Um, oh yeah, I thought that was the case, but oh yeah, yeah, cause sponsor as well. But that fire alarm system is ripping out, and replacing with something else altogether. In fact, there's a lot of stuff that's, because I'm trying to be careful with what I say, because there is a lot of stuff that I can't really go into public detail about. But the Hilton's practices at Confuzzled last year were just shocking, and easily the worst operations that I have ever experienced. Um, in because I've been furry conventions I've been doing since since March 2016, and just for the weekend in Bristol, being my first one. The fact that the Crown Plaza, yeah, that's the because the thing is, I did try for a Crown Plaza, I did try for a room in the Crown Plaza, and I've heard about how much nicer that is than the Hilton Burger Metropole, because fridges seems to be a standard thing in Crown Plaza room, because at the Crown Plaza Glasgow in Scotland, which is where ScotiaCon is held, a standard room, you get a fridge, and at one point you could also get Sky TV. So that's interesting. But because I can understand with dealers having to move into the hill, because dealers were telling me about the issues they were having with hotel rooms, in terms of the plumbing, the electricals, so much. In fact, given what I paid for the executive room, there was one part of the floor that was just absolutely soaking, and it nearly died because the DJ controller, the case for my DJ controller is under the bed. That's the reason why I'm pointing over there. That broke, and basically I had the controller face down, and some of the terminals actually have rust on it now because of something that must have happened underneath the floor. But that was absolutely soaking. And one of the shower gel pumps came off of the wall next to the bath. Because the interesting thing, because unlike in most hotel rooms, you either get a shower or a bath or a shower bath combo. In the executive room, we had a shower and a bath, and the pumps on the bath um ended up breaking off the wall, and I only pressed it down lightly, and I've told reception about it. Hopefully they'll get it fixed. But yeah, the Hilton's conduct, like, because I really, really wanted to go to Confuzzled this year, but I was trying to get a room in the Crown Plaza, and there was nobody who, there was something. Okay, I did have one person approach me to share a room in the Crown Plaza, but somebody beat them to it when it comes to sharing a room with. Um, but also, there was one other person who did approach me, but I received some messages from people about how this person in particular who messaged me about staying in a hotel room with has a tendency to be very, very sexually provocative. So that was something interesting to be notified about. Um, but yeah, it basically, because the other thing I've heard, because unlike the Hilton, but because with the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, you have to pay for parking. But I didn't this year because the car park that was opposite, there was a NEC parking that was opposite the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, and we managed to Confuzzle managed to fill it up, and I don't think that it was because I have a feeling that everybody who was parking there, not everybody of them was actually staying in the hotel. They probably just parked there because it was a lot cheaper. They'd go over and stay in like the Moxie or somewhere. But the thing is, because although the Moxie is closer, it has a tendency to be more expensive, and because of certain rules that hotels that aren't contracted out to conventions set up, if I were to stay in an overflow hotel, I feel like it would need to be with a partnership hotel, like a hotel that is contracted to be an overflow with the convention, because of certain rules that hotels are set up when they're not contracted with the convention. It takes me out of my comfort zone of actually staying there, given that also because there's a lot of things. I won't go into detail about that publicly. Yeah, that'd be interesting to uh yeah, Aries, if you drop me a message probably on Telegram or something, and I'll probably get back to you some point after the stream. So Isla, I'm not actually interacting with the stream on TikTok, because I'm actually because YouTube is my because YouTube is the stream that I'm actually interacting with, because TikTok Live I do. So if you do want to come and interact with me, come over to the YouTube channel, because TikTok Live I have been told in the YouTube chat about some of the behavior on here, hence the reason why I've decided to use this as a backup stream just in case. But anyway, how are we doing? How is the battery doing for on this one? Let's see. Okay, 36%. Okay, so that's low. And the thing is, I've left the laptop battery. I've left the laptop charger downstairs. So I don't really have the strength to go down and get it, given what I've been through today with the Lenovo PC. But yeah, because given the fact that what happened with plans falling through, and the fact that I wasn't able to secure somebody to share a room at the Crown Plaza with, it led to the very disappointing, but what was for me very unavoidable decision to not do Confuzzled next year. Because if I do, because I will go back to Confuzzled at some points, but I will only go on certain conditions. If the Hilton actually learns from all of the mistakes and terrible conduct and actually act upon everything. And I'm also talking about the lifts as well, because this is not normal. The amount of elevator downtime that we've had at this hotel has been absolutely horrific, and it is not normal for a hotel to have such deteriorating lifts. Because there was a one point, because at Confuzzled in 2019, there was a point where all three of the main ones weren't working. And for this year, because I was in the executive room, the executive lifts, only one of the two was working, and it could only take half the weight. Now that we did have issues with lifts at the Crown Plaza in Glasgow, but however, after so many issues that people had with the lifts this year, I've been told by staff at the Crown Plaza when they apologised for the lifts being not what they should be, they are going to start replacing them with an entirely new system altogether. So I took that as the opportunity to suggest them a particular lift system. If anybody is in here is actually if there's any elevator nerds in here who are familiar with Kodi EcoDisc, that is the system that I have suggested to the Crown Plaza Glasgow, because if they are going to replace them, that's the system that they need. Because there's an office that I actually work part time at, and that lift we have two EcoDisc lifts there. They are very low maintenance, and we barely have anybody calling in to come and fix it. So they are the best lift systems. And that is the kind of system as well that the Hilton Birmingham Metropole needs. All of the lifts in that hotel needs to be Kodi EcoDisc, because that way, far less elevator. But also the other problem with the Hilton is that it only has one set of stairs that isn't a fire exit, and that was a real kick in the teeth, because there was a set of stairs that was literally right opposite my hotel room door, but that was only a fire exit, and if you open those doors, it sets all the alarms off. So that was a bummer, because the Hilton itself, because I'm not the only one who's been saying about how outdated. There are lots of people who will tell you about how outdated it is, and the issues that people have been having with it. Yeah, so that's me not doing Confuzzled in 2025. I'm trying for next year, but that's depending on what. Okay, so the Crown Plaza seems to be my last resort at the moment. But there is talks of a glamping resort being it's being built. But word is that is going to be, even though I don't really support the idea of deforestation for more accommodation. But if the word is, and this has not been actually officially confirmed, but they are trying their best to secure that as an overflow, which would be great for the convention, because having just the Crown Plaza as an overflow just isn't enough. But the one hotel I'm honestly annoyed at is is the Moxie, because that's only about 3 minute walk from the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, and Confuzzled did approach that to be a overflow, but the Moxie rejected. And when it was because the first year that the because that hotel was built during the pandemic, during the COVID lockdowns, so it wasn't there when we were last there in 2019, and then when conventions came back in 2022, it was built, and people managed to get rooms there for £309, which was very, very cheap, given the fact that that's if you're only having like one person in a room, that's how much it would have costed. But when people tried to book the hotel for the 2023 convention, hotel rooms were as expensive as 1,100 and something pounds, and because that sort of thing really annoys me. But the other thing I'm also annoyed about is that there was also supposed to be a Hampton by Hilton being built next to the Hilton Birmingham Metropole where the staff car park was. They did get planning permission for that, but nothing came into fruition, which I'm actually disappointed by. But because the word is that hotel was going to have 250 rooms, I believe, so that would be able to house, in theory, 500 Confuzzled attendees, and that would be great if we did have that as an overflow. And I would much rather stay in there than the Hilton Birmingham Metropole the way it is. But yeah, I just want to say, hey, I say, Harry, you were wearing those blue shorts. Reminded me that I started to wear sports as well. So I don't know if they're really classed as sport. I'll just stand up so you can get a good view of them. But the reason, because normally I don't wear shorts. But the reason why I've had to start wearing them is because there's something going on between the legs. And needless to say, it's not a pretty sight. Also, that's the other thing I want to get to. So come later this year, I am going to be getting a entirely new body, and that is a stream exclusive for this. So the current body I'm going to be ditching hopefully very very soon, maybe some point when I do attend my next convention, which will be it's a private members only one, where it's like it's a convention for people who have contributed to the furry community, that made positive contributions. But yeah, this body will be history at some point, because I've been having so many issues in terms of rips, a lot of surgery. I've needed some surgery down there. Um, yeah, it's not been great, and um, anyway, so where was I? Oh yeah, so with me not doing Confuzzled, okay, figures. I don't mind not being at Confuzzled, but the thing is, I need to be away from home while it's on. So while I'm not at Confuzzled, I'm gonna do something that I have not done for years. I keep meaning to, but I've just never had the time for it. But I am going to. I'm gonna go visit some family and friends in the southeast of England, because I've been long overdue going back there, and I miss the places in that region so much. So that it will be very, very good to get back there again for the first of the year, because I've got so much catching up to do there. Um, yeah, but it was going to be great to get back there. Also, I guess on one plus of actually doing Confuzzled, is it decreases my chances of actually getting COVID, because I have caught COVID twice from not only so much Confuzzled, but I've caught COVID twice from Birmingham, and that really says a lot about the place, doesn't it? Um, because I think that I caught COVID once. The first time I caught it was during Confuzzled 2022. The second time was after a family wedding in 2023, and the third time was from Confuzzled. Well, we could to say it was okay, not so much from Confuzzled, because there are some disgusting cretins lurking in Birmingham, and given the nature of some of the people there, um, every time for Confuzzled, yeah, because it's weird, because at Confuzzled 2023, I managed to come out of it unscathed. But I think the biggest contributor as to why so many people get COVID from Confuzzled, one, because it's Birmingham, two, because of, well, two, it's the Hilton's ventilation system um is absolutely atrocious. There's been so many complaints about that system for years, and it gets really really hot in the main lobby of the hotel, um and because of all the so much body heat that's going on. uh but yeah, the reason why me and my friend decided. So Boomer, about your comments about spandex, it's um it's not really something that I it's just not really my kind of field. Mainly because if I put on spandex, I just feel that this would just look very very weird. There's something about it just would be looking at back that to me would just be a bit jarring. And let me get me wrong, because pet suits and bodysuits that are spandex, when done right, they can be executed phenomenally and look really good. But for me, it's just not my style, and it's just not something that I feel I would look right with. But yeah, Birmingham City Centre. I think the last time I actually went in the city centre was 2015. Um, but I think it was it no it was Edgbaston was the area that I went in, and it wasn't the worst. But yeah, but oh boy, yeah, because I tell you what, one city I felt really ill was Glasgow, because I went this way because when I went in Glasgow at night time, and I felt absolutely fine, and there were some elements of Glasgow that actually did look really pretty. But when I went during the day, because I went at night time during 2023, And when I went in 2024 last year during the day, I came back to the hotel feeling really, really ill, and that must have been something to do with the air. Um, yeah, so there was something. It was either something to the air, or probably what people there must have been breathing out. But I'm just gonna put my phone on the bed, so I don't really need that at the moment. Um, it was yes, that was not fun to experience. But yeah, it was for Confuzzled 2024. Or somebody sent me the origami. I don't know who. Because I've just seen the rewards out of the glimpse of my eye. But thank you so much to anybody who has sent rewards over here on TikTok. If you do want to interact with me, however, um, I'm focusing more on YouTube rather than this because of just how the way that TikTok Live, certain crowds that it does reach out to. But yeah, I'm not. I'm basically not even gonna. Right. So, what was the other thing I was gonna try and mention? But yeah, so yeah, same with Central Birmingham. Really, air quality. Yeah, because I've probably what you felt about Birmingham City Centre is what I felt about Glasgow City Centre. Yeah, I don't know if it's probably something to do. It's probably to do with the air quality there, because in major cities you've basically got nothing there to take away any of the pollutants like carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide for that matter. Um, but I think thanks to Fur Tracker, I think you should be easy to find on there. Actually, on that note of Fur Track, in the rise of AI, one that I think that there would only be one good thing to come out of AI, and that would be if AI was in place on Furtrack when it comes to tagging, because tagging I have to keep doing it automatically. I have to keep doing it manually. Sorry, not automatically, because automatic would have been a lot easier. But I have to keep looking up different characters. Sometimes I would end up putting I would end up putting the right name, but of a completely different character to the tag that I ended up putting in, which is a bit annoying. So Furtrack, I really wish would in place some form of AI to make it easier for photographers to tag um, characters who are in the photos. But the other thing that I really wish that Furtrack would do is allow its users to create albums. Because Flickr is where I post my photos from conventions, and the one thing that allows me to do is to create albums. Whereas with Furtrack, it doesn't allow me to do that. It does allow tags for conventions, but doesn't allow its users to create specific albums on their profile. So that's the another annoying thing about Furtrack. I did post my ScotiaCon 2024 photos, but I've not been through all of them. That's the only thing that I really wish that Furtrack would do is just try and find any form of way to make it easier for photographers to tag, so it saves a lot of hassle as well as the albums as well. So Furtrack, I applaud it, but I'm not really a huge fan of the current way it is. Yeah, so that's yeah. So just seeing some of the comments, some of the comments on the TikTok live is just absolutely horrendous. So in terms of what there is to talk about, okay, I wasn't gonna say any more about this, but the other thing that I want to talk about the Hilton Birmingham Metropole is the severe lack of funding, because I have no doubt that the convention alone itself collectively throws a six-figure sum at the Hilton Birmingham Metropole, and I want to know where that money is going. It's just because the other thing about that is because at Confuzzled, we get through the hotels. Okay, we get through a month's worth of the hotel's bar supplies in just 5 days. So in that whole entirety of that 5 days, we run that bar dry, which means a month's worth of funding from that bar goes all into one go in 5 months. And I do question where that money is going. It's clearly not going into any of the funding. It's clearly not going into the hotel itself, which is weird because they had some spare money for a new sign, on above the entrance, as well as some funds for a couple of new light signs. And there was nothing wrong with the older ones. In fact, I felt like what they've got now is a huge step back compared to what was there previously. So I'm just gonna just take care of something on the TikTok live because there's somebody in here just giving me a lot of grief. Oh, come on, that's okay. Yeah, that's just been. Sorry, I just had to take care of something else. Actually, that's one thing I've never actually shown off the feet. I've not shown off the paws much. I don't want to. I've got to be careful because the microphone cable's linked. My foot is caught into it. So I'll just see if I can get my foot up. Beans. So I'm trying to see how long I can maintain this position. Okay, you probably can't see them on TikTok live, but beans says oh God, I need a new chair. But it's bean time. Anybody care for some baked beans? I'm sorry, that was terrible. So who else we got? We've got 7 people watching the stream at the moment. So it's like me being machine. Can you do feetball? If I were to do something for the ASMR channel, I guess that there could be a brushing thing because I wouldn't know what noise my paws would be able to generate. I'll probably have to run some few tests if I could do something like that. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna head off, but leave you. Good night, Aries. In fact, on that note, I'm not quite sure. I'll have to double check how much battery I've got left in the laptop because I've been streaming for nearly an hour on this stream alone. I've been trying so hard to get streaming on here. I'm glad that I managed to in the end. But it's been ever since I started streaming because that computer is still stuck on that page on Microsoft Edge. In fact, I'm just going to see if I can find out where the cursor is for that one because it's just all right. There's the cursor. So let's try restore. Just see what happens there. But yeah, it's genuinely been crazy tonight. But I'm glad that because I feel like this is the thing that I need to do every year since to help mark the occasion because 5 years is an incredible achievement to have been looking like this, and I'm hoping there's many more 5 years to go. I'm curious to know where I'll be in 5 years time because that would be a decade ago since then in 2030. That would be basically, but I'm just but my profile picture is the color blue and white. I'll have to get a proper look at that because I can't really see the icons are just so small. I can't quite make out profile pictures on YouTube, unfortunately. But overall, I'm a bit distracted by what's going on TikTok. For those who are on TikTok, I'm not interacting with the stream over there because I can see you. But if you do want to get some form of interaction, not my glasses. Just if you do want to interact with me, the YouTube channel would be the better place because everything there is more civil, and I will know when the bad eggs are coming in. Oh, guys, see, this is where I'm getting. This is where it gets very interesting. I'll just see if I can. I just want to try and get a screenshot of that before it disappears because I've got death threats. I've got death threats in the TikTok chat. That's hardly surprising. Oh, for God's sake. Where is it? It's just. Yeah, there's just hang on. I've just got to. Where's that? where's that comment gone? Hang on, just got to take care of something. But yeah, that's my expectations are low for TikTok, but genuinely, holy shit. Just let a bit of a, because I think that's been taken care of. So, all right. So now I'm stuck on the. Okay, there he goes. But yeah, the chat on TikTok is very very interesting. I barely. It's weird because on posts it's not so bad, but when I take it to live, it's you could definitely tell on there who hasn't reached puberty yet. They either haven't reached puberty or they have really small dicks. Gotta work out what. Oh, so that's what they were referring to because they were referring to giving the iPad back to mum. So I'll have to double check. Yeah, but yeah, there was somebody in there who was who was there was somebody in there who was like making death threats with guns and everything. So I had to take it. What type of clothing do you wear? Well, it kind of varies depending on what I get. Cause I don't really stick to a certain because tank tops are tank tops. I think are my favourite because weird thing is I've never ever worn any other form of shirt while being a big dog because t-shirts I feel are a bit restricted because huskies, let's face it, aren't bred for hot climates. But tank top is kind of like I'll probably have to see what maybe one year I'll see what a t-shirt looks like on that. But tank tops I just think look so much hotter, and I do actually have a weakness for animal people in their tank tops, so that kind of helps. But in terms of design wise, in fact, I'm just going to see if I can pause the live because there is something that I wouldn't mind on YouTube here seeing. Um, yes. Sonny Dingo does wear tank tops. He's got quite the collection. He's got quite a few that I sent him over as well. Yeah, but Sonny, oh gosh, that I had a massive crush on that dingo. Um, many years ago. He's such a sweetheart though. It's been. I do hope he comes back to the UK because yeah, I've got glimpses of what the people like are over on TikTok and low battery. Okay, so this is it. So I might have to. Oh shit, 6%. So I am left with no option other than to end the stream right here, right now. Because if I don't do it any sooner, then the laptop could die, and that would mean the stream would keep on going. It would just be nothing but some black cutouts. So I think on that note, I'm sorry to end the stream so abruptly. There are some sorry about some comments. Boomer, definitely give tag tops a try. But yeah, because I think that would look good on you, no doubt. But in terms of this stream, I have to end it here, guys. I'm sorry because it's just that, mind you, to get it going for an hour on a 12-year-old MacBook Air was impressive. But on that note, I'm sorry to say goodbye so abruptly, but I'm glad I managed to do the stream in the end. I was worried that I wasn't. I was on the verge of cancelling last minute, but I'm glad that I didn't in the end. But anyway, on that note, I just want to say an absolute thank you for everyone who's tuned in, everyone who's been on with me on this journey for the past 5 years. It's just been absolutely incredible. But yeah, I just want to just double check because there's okay. Now that's gone down to 5% very quickly. So I'm going to end this very abruptly. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Take care of yourselves. Lots of love. Bye bye.